Hello everybody, it's good to be with you again. I've been very busy over the last few months preparing things for my garden. You see, I do like to grow flowers so that I can look at them and see the beauty of them, and when I'm sat having a cup of tea in the garden, just looking around and looking at the joy of all of God's creation. But I've been busy with something else. A little while ago, I planted some of these. I don't know whether you can see what they are, but they're beans. I planted these, I put them in the soil and gently watered them for a little while and kept them warm. And eventually it's grown into this. And this is a bean plant, a runner bean plant. Some of mine have got really too big and they shot away and made long tendrils, and they've now gone out into the garden because we want them to grow and to produce some nice runner beans for us to eat later on in the summer. Now, why am I talking about planting seeds and runner beans? Well, Sunday today is a special day. It's called Rogation Sunday. It's a funny word, isn't it? It comes from a very old word that means asking. And why we're thinking about Rogation Sunday is we're asking God at this time of the year when things are being planted out, we're asking God to bless them so that they produce good fruit, good vegetables and things like that. Now the thing is, this is a very old custom. Years and years, hundreds of years ago, before people knew about Jesus, they used to have a celebration around this time of the year because they had all sorts of gods then. They had a god of the sun and a god of the moon and a god of the ground and a god of the flowers and the god of the animals. But they used to have a special celebration to ask the god of the earths to produce lots and lots of fruit and vegetables and crops for them. And they used to have a parade, they used to dance around and make lots and lots of noises. Well, once people began to learn about Jesus and they realised that there was only one God, they thought, well, what are we going to do about our celebration? Well, this God is the God of everything. He is the God of the moon, the sun, the earth, the animals, the flowers and the trees. And we still should celebrate it. So people carried on with this celebration of making a bit of a joy of this time of the year, a day, a Sunday when they would celebrate. And then as things developed and churches grew up and areas and communities grew, people at this time of the year had a special festival on this Sunday, which they called Rogation Sunday, Asking Sunday, asking God to bless their land. And they used to do something really funny called beating of the bounds. And in fact, in some places it still goes on. And what they would do is they'd come out of church singing songs and hymns, and they'd make lots of noise, and they'd walk all around the area of their community, all the way around the boundary of their community. And they'd stop in various places and they'd say prayers over the fields here, and they'd say prayers over the fields there, and they'd say prayers over the woods there and the orchards here and the farms there, all the way around. And it was a really big joyous occasion, usually led by the vicar. And if they had a choir, their choir would come and they'd make a real procession and everybody would join in, and it was a real fun time. Well, of course, as our communities have got bigger, some places still do something, as I've said, beating the bounds, walking around the whole boundary of the community. But many of our churches now just will do it from the church, and perhaps walk around the churchyard and look out and bless the different areas of their village or their town. And not just asking God to bless the fields and the farms and all that was produced, but also to bless the schools if there was a school in that direction, and perhaps a factory in that direction, and perhaps a shopping centre in this direction. But going around and asking God to bless, to pour his love into those places and to keep those people safe. So this, as I said, this still goes on today, and I shall be going to a service in a village where we will be saying later on prayers out over our community, not just asking God for something, asking him to help our communities grow and blossom and do great things, but also thanking God for all that we have. So we will all be thanking God for our schools, thanking God for our farms, thanking God for our orchards, thanking God for the beautiful scenery that we have around us, thanking God for our families and for our friends. So we're asking God's blessing, asking God to pour his love into everybody and everything, but we're also thanking him for doing so. And I think sometimes we just take things for granted. I knew that if I put the bean into the soil and I looked after it properly, that it would grow. But it is pretty marvellous, isn't it? That something as tiny as that will grow into this, and I know that this will grow into a plant that will be taller than me and produce lots and lots of runner beans. And I think that's pretty marvellous, and I think it's something that I want to say thank you to God for. So as we go about our daily lives, as we walk out into our gardens, or we look at the plants in our house, or we just look out the window and we see lovely things, I think we ought to just stop every now and again, not just on this special Sunday, this Rogation Sunday, and just say thank you to God for all that we have around us and all that we are able to enjoy. So if you hear that funny word, Rogation Sunday, you know where it comes from. It is about asking for God's blessing, but it's also a time when we can thank God for all that he's given us. It's been great to talk to you again today, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.